Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the South Bay Syndicate. Today, we're going to be looking at a deck that we've been talking a lot about in Discord, especially with Finn. Shout out to Finn for his ideas on this. And then we've started to see it popping up in some PQs recently. And it is Ezra Blue with Splash, splashing specifically, in this case, Kanan to bounce some of their early pieces and continue our momentum. And then doing a lot of fun things with Restore and pushing damage fast, especially with the new Hera unit. And then Ezra, of course, with Saboteur and the attachments. Really excited to try this. We continue to try and find Spectre decks that will work, and we think this one could be very good. And we're getting ready for India. We just want to make sure we're trying all the different things. Yes, the current meta, but also some other things that might fall outside of it that could be a lot of fun. And we think this deck fits that bill, and a lot of synergy across the Spectres and the different things we're trying to do to get Ezra built up and pushing damage fast. All right, let's jump into some games with Ezra Blue Splash and see what happens. We got Darth Dan here on the new Luke data vault, which is also picking up a lot of steam. As we load in this first game, I want to thank you all so much for hanging out with us, supporting the channel, watching the videos as always. If you could like, subscribe, and comment on the video, it goes a long way in supporting us. And then if you want to jump in the Discord and share your decks with us and chat about what we're doing, there'll be a link in the description. All right, let's see what we can get to start. I do like this starting hand. We got a couple of attachment options for later. We're going to go ahead and keep this. We'll start with our Karis into either Sabine or Ezra. I think they support each other very well, and we'll put the Nimble Prowess down. Though I do like the Nimble Prowess so that we have on our 4R, we could Nimble Prowess plus. But in this case, I think we're just going to go with pushing damage. And we do get our bounce and our plot armor to support our leader. And now we're feeling really good about when we bring the leader out, we'll be able to give it 9 health and then put a saber on it. We will start with going through the base. I know we're not giving out an advantage token, but advantage tokens can be a little weird with Hu Yang. So we will go here and see what they decide to do. Now with Kanan, we'll be able to pump it with Ezra, and it's going to be really nice synergy. We're going to go ahead and claim and see what they decide to do. Okay. They go ahead and attack in. We'll create that spy. We're happy to trade out with Hu Yang here. The Anakin can be pretty good. Hona adds some nice healing as well. So we're going to put Sabine's Masterpiece down. No, it looks like we are in a bit of a ground race. And we'll see where they decide to push damage. So we'll go ahead and we'll take this out. Most likely like Kanan here, I'm hoping they put an attachment on to try and get our Ezra. They do not. In that case, we will still go ahead and play out our Kanan and bounce. We're bouncing that one. That way they cannot. Yep. And we'll go ahead and claim. All right. So here we got a second Night Saber. That could be really interesting. We are going to start to hand out experience tokens, which we're pretty happy about. And we'll actually have enough on Kanan to wipe out the Obi if we want to. So we're going to go ahead here. We're going to put an experience and an advantage token. And then when we flip, we're going to be able to put Ezra with the Night Saber and the armor. And it'll be very tough to get through, and we'll start pushing damage really fast. Even if they're able to get the Sentinel out, we have an answer right away. Another Saboteur unit, shielding our leader later, and then more healing with Hona if we want. So next turn we can go with either the Anakin or a combination of a Night Saber and Hona. Really putting a lot of pressure on the board. Okay. In that case, I think what we'll do is what we care about here. So I'm just thinking through if we want to. I think we just push the base. They can attack in if they want. We're really more interested in how much damage we're gonna be able to push. There's another Hu Yang. We will put our armor out. Two Hu Yangs is nice for them. We're not super worried about it. Because we can have an option here to just take that out if we want to, or go down a couple other paths. Another 5 damage to base does seem pretty good, getting them to 15. We are on a clock before this loop comes out. We really want to set ourselves up to push damage. They're going to go to base, which is great for us. Yep, we'll push here. They're getting a lot of units out on the board, which will set up with Luke nicely. If they're able to get there, we're going to try and push as much damage as we can this turn. I think we'll do the combination of Hona and the Nightsaber here. Oh, they attack into our leader. Okay. Shrinking it down. It's not too bad for us. I think what we'll do is we'll go to base here, put an experience token. We will go to base here, give an advantage token. You can see we're just pushing so much damage. And now this is going to hit for 4, getting them to 29, representing lethal on all of our pieces. We will go ahead and swing here, give an advantage token. They can keep crashing in, but in reality, now we have 2 lethal pieces on board. They have some healing coming. But we're just maximizing our damage. Push. Yep. We'll go ahead and throw this on Ezra. Ezra now represents lethal. And they have to claim. And we'll get our Hona out. And the Reforge can be nice as well, giving us some options. So let's see if we're able to finish them off here. They might try and play a force unit. They do. We'll go ahead and take that out. That wasn't a force unit. Sorry, I was thinking they were going to play a force unit. Instead, they went with the Typho is our only stop. We have an answer. They'll attack in. They'll shrink. We'll throw another one on. Still representing lethal. And the Reforge on the advantage token could also do some work. So we'll just go ahead and swing in, and that'll be GG's. So the deck is fast, right? GG's to Dart Dan. The deck is fast. It does a lot of interesting things. It pushes damage, keeps your opponent on their back foot. And we saw that throughout this matchup. And we're able to take out the Luke Data Vault, uh, really keeping them from being able to do much, which was, I think, an important piece as we continue to just push damage in that case. There were definitely opportunities, I think, to start to trade units, but it didn't make sense for us. We had already put so much damage on base, and we needed them to react. And so here we got Paranoid Android on Dedra. This will be more of a slog, I think, but we'll see what we can do. We'll keep this. We'll put 1 Hona and the armor down. You can see how effective that can be when we can get extra health on our leader. We'll go ahead and the warrior. We'll pass. Okay. I don't know what just happened. They can damage, and we'll claim. A second armor is nice. We're gonna go ahead and push damage, and we'll show this. Next turn, we can play out both of these or this piece. I think here we'll let them draw and force them to decide if they want to use a card in their hand. Do not. Okay. Ooh, the Whistling Bird could be a lot of fun in this matchup. So could the Anakin, and the Nemec is important. So I think what we'll do here is we'll go with Hona. Just continue to build out our board. Get an attack in. We'll show the Hona. They'll try to damage again. Play the Hona out. I really like next turn's Whistling Bird play with the Armor of Fortune. I think that could help us really control and push a lot of damage. As long as we can keep 2 units on the board, that's gonna be the other key. We're gonna claim here. Oof, a lot of good pieces. In an effort to go tall and wide, I think we'll go like this. I think we'll slam in for 5, give an advantage token here. We'll see what they want to trade out. Okay, that's fine. They go ahead. We'll throw an armor on our leader. And then we are going to throw that whistling bird on. We're hoping they go to base here. They do not. Go ahead and throw that whistling bird on. It's going to do a lot of work right now. And now Dedra has to decide what it wants to trade into. As we're going to hit base for 5 and deal 2 damage. And we'll give an advantage token here. And this is where going wide will be important. I do like the Anakin again here. The bounce is interesting, but we have our Saboteur on the ground. We really don't want the dark side ship coming down. That's what we're fighting against. Only having one of our units on board. Yep. So they condemn. I think that's okay. We are going to go ahead and put a shield out on our guy. We will need to see one of our constables to battle this. Really nice. The condemn by them really slows down what we're doing. We'll take that out. We will let them draw and we'll claim. I do like the AN, so we will go ahead here and push damage and give an advantage token. Okay. We will play out a couple units here. Swing to base. This way, we're just putting pressure on, forcing them to have it. Now we have the Reforge, which defeat an upgrade on a friendly unit. I do think that means we can defeat the Condemn, but I'm not quite sure. There's a Pre-Vizsla. Let's see if the Reforge works. We will defeat the Condemn. We will grab a Night Saber and throw it on there. It does work. We'll go to swing for 11 to base. We'll do now. We won't give an advantage token out. That was pretty nice. Um, we'll throw the Karis out. And here we are going to resource because what we could look at is if they do like a single reactor ignition, we can get our spy token and throw mastery on it and aggressive negotiation, which we will do. We'll throw a mastery on it. And they can go ahead and damage it, and we will swing to base. We'll get a second unit out. Okay. So that's what we thought they were going to do. We were ready for it. Once we reforge the Condemn, really put them in a weird spot. And it's still very close. They probably are favorite, right? Because if they play a Pre-Vizsla again, we're in a lot of trouble. They are going to go ahead and swing in. We can let them damage. We will play out the Hera. And there we go. Okay. Ooh, the sudden ferocity is also nice. Also setting up a possible another Karis situation, like we just had. But again, very close. There are cards in their deck that can just immediately hurt what we're trying to do. They also have the Chimera in hand. We saw it. Um, we will go here. We are looking for a situation where they have to claim and we have more than one unit on board. Um, They pass. Okay. So I'm thinking right here, if they pass, right, we can claim and then we can push. Let's attack first. We'll restore one. This is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now we'll claim, and this could be lethal. No, it's one short. It's one short of lethal. We're gonna go for it. We'll skip resourcing. We will attack in to get them to 34, and we'll see if they have an answer. If they kill off the Karis, we get. We'll bounce that, just keeping things off their board. And it also means the Chimera cannot trade something else out. That's kind of the key to that right there. And now, even if they heal one, we're able to attack 4-3. So the Constable is perfect for the Chimera. And by bouncing it, we're forcing them to kill their Chimera. And we are going to go ahead and show here and claim. And they have one resource, so they shouldn't be able to do anything. Sure, we'll let them damage it. And I think that's GG. So we're able to stabilize, keep it going. I think a couple of pieces where we saw the single reactor ignition coming really helped out. And then we kept putting pressure on the board, going wide, keeping our small cost units. And then the splash base, as odd as it is, was able to keep us a unit on board with lethal and then force them to use their Chimera and sacrifice itself, which I think is big swing for us. So GG's to our opponent there. And we'll jump into our next game. And you're kind of seeing how this deck can work, right? It can do a lot of different things. It can go fast, it can heal, it can put pressure, it can bounce, it can go in both arenas. Very, very fun deck. I can see why it's having some success. We're gonna go ahead and keep this hand. Um, so the curve means we have to keep the green leader and the warrior, and then we can kind of make a decision with Kanan and Hona. We have a lot of attachments in the deck, so we are gonna go ahead and put that away. We'll go to space for now, because they can just pump that and trade out our unit, which we don't love. Okay. So that's okay, right? We are thinking the Kanan is going to come in great here, right? The Kanan is going to bounce that. It's going to put us in a great spot. And now we have a lot of different attachments that we're going to want. The Reforge is interesting. We saw the power of it recently. But I think what we'll do here, we also saw a Whistling Bird and they have shield and these other things. So I think I'm actually going to put the Hona down. I really want to work on getting my leader big in this matchup. All right, so they're going to go ahead. We'll do 2 damage there. We will bring out our cannon and bounce. And I think we love the idea of having a clear board and having them off the force. And now what we're able to do, we probably don't need double Whistling Bird, although that is interesting. So I think what we're going to do here is we're going to bring our leader out. Yep. Bring him out. We'll attack here, put an advantage token, and then we'll reforge the advantage token, and we'll get the Night Saber, put it on. And I think in this case, we will go with Whistling Bird and really put as much pressure as possible on our opponent. And this is a great set of cards as well. We're going to keep everything. We might be able to finish it here, depending on what their attack sequence. If we were able to go 4 to base first, we might be able to finish here. Let's see, we can do 8 at least. This makes it 11. Okay, perfect. So yeah, they have a decision to make. I would have done that differently. That's okay. If we give the shield here, it's over as well. So now it's at 9. They're going to shrink it down. It's going to be at 6. They are going to. Uh, we're going to go ahead and put the mastery on, bumping it back up, and then we're going to throw the armor. Oh, okay. Are they crashing in? No. Yes. It's all very close. Go ahead and throw that on. And this is with a shrunken down leader, which is why you're seeing it this way. They have the Tyrannus, which we saw, but they have to attack in first with their Snoke to activate it. And at that point, we could claim because we have the AN, and we'll not be debuffed anymore. And they might have. Okay. All right. Yep. So they try to do that again. They can't still. They might crash both in, I guess. Yep. That's what they're going to end up doing, which is fine by us. They'll crash both in. We'll give our advantage token here. And we left them with no choice, right? The Kanan again with Splash coming in handy, able to bounce their Sentinel. GG's to our opponent there, and you're really seeing how much this deck can do. And now we're debuffed, so they can't kill us, and then we're able to swing in, or not debuffed anymore. Debuffed, you know what I mean. All right, here we have a Spectre battle with a Splash Hera. So they're going to be bouncing our stuff. We're going to be bouncing their stuff. We're going to mulligan here. We do want to see, yes, this is a hand that we like more. Gives us some variety. Also gives us a plot piece. Okay. They have, oh, they're not using Splash. They're using Virgin Simple. Great. All right. Well, we'll see what we're able to do. We might even Whistling Bird here to turn off Virgin Simple, depending on what they play. They play Yoda's Lightsaber. Uh, hmm, that would still be in range. So I think what we're going to do is play this out. We want them to attack first, then we can crash in. They pass. In that case, we'll claim. It means they would not have used the force there. We will be able to attack in here. This is important because now we're able to kill it. So them passing worked out just fine for us. We'll see what they end up doing. They bounce. Sure. We'll play the Hona. They'll get the force back. And now we're gonna have options. We have Whistling Bird, we have Sudden Ferocity, we have all kinds of options. That seems okay as well. So I think here we're going to deploy and we're going to put the armor on because the Whistling Bird is going to be important. So we're going to go ahead and throw the Whistling Bird on. And we'll see if they deploy their leader. They certainly do. We'll do 2 damage to everything. Give an advantage token here. If they attack again, we'll be very happy. They don't. We're going to go ahead and claim here. Yep. This is the situation we want to be in. These are all lovely cards. So we're going to be able to go ahead and attack in and deal 2 damage. And you can see where the Whistling Bird is really doing work. They have the Sabine. They're going to crash in. That's okay. Yep. Crash in. We will play the Nimble Prowess, tap down their leader. They did not take the Whistling Bird off, which is nice for us. We're going to go ahead and play the Mastery. And we're going to play that. And we're going to swing in base. Give an advantage token. And now they're probably wondering what the heck is going on. Yep, GG to Sunrider. And the Whistling Bird combo just went crazy. The while they removed the Armor of Fortune, its power is can't be overstated enough. getting him to a 3/9 on deploy and then having another attachment to back him up really, really sets it apart, really lets you push a lot of different things, and you can see this deck going crazy, and I hope you guys are enjoying this because 'cause I'm having a lot of fun with it, and it makes me think, should I bring it to Indy? If Jonathan was here, he'd say no, but maybe I should. All right, as we load into our next game, want to remind you guys of our new partnership with Viper Sleeves. You go to vipersleeves.com/SBS and you receive 10% off all your Viper Sleeves goodies, including card sleeves, binders, deck boxes, life counters, play mats, merch, and a little bit something comes back to South Bay Syndicate as part of our partnership support. So thank you guys all so much. Definitely check that out. I got their water bottle here. I got all my decks sleeved up in Viper Sleeves now, and I'm excited to bring them out to Indianapolis. All right, let's jump into our next game. We have a boba yellow. It's going to be very disruptive. We have no attachments here outside of Nimble and Reforge, but we might be able to keep them working. So we're going to keep this. We don't really have a turn two. So I think what we're going to try and do is the Reforge probably has to go. And then I think the Anakin, we're going to need some of these other pieces. And they have initiative, which is also going to hurt us a little bit here. They go space, which is better than I was thinking. If they had gone ground, I think we would have been in a tougher spot. But right now, I'll be able to play a little bit under curve with the warrior, but I start to hand out advantage tokens. And then if they have the 2/3 that does 3 indirect damage, I can use nimble prowess to knock it down. We're not really going into space right now, so I think we'll be okay. I'm actually going to put this here because I'm all about pushing the damage. And so that's what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to push damage, give advantage tokens. Now I can push 9 damage next turn. And my leader, if you guys are following it, has 2 great points where it's going to come out as a 6/9 leader and really, really push some pressure. So the Sabine's Masterpiece is not coming out because we don't really need to activate these pieces. This is fine. So we'll go ahead and hit base again. And you can see even though we just have 2 units right now, we are pushing crazy amounts of damage. And we're really liking our spot. And next turn, if we sequence correctly, we're going to be able to maximize our advantage tokens. And we're getting some healing out now. So setting ourselves up to maybe finish it next turn. If we had a Hera here on turn 2, that would have been amazing because they don't have any interactions either. We're going to go ahead and throw the Masterpiece under. There could be a world where we play the second Karis to get the spy token. I don't think so here, but let's see how much we can push here. This is 5. Uh, they have a Guile. Okay. The Guile is going to be very helpful for them. But we're still going to push a lot of damage. Go up to 17. We're going to flip our leader. And then if we sequence it okay, we might be able to claim and just finish them with the AN next turn because we're not going to lose any cards from hand here. And our leader is going to get them to 23. They have a system shock. Very good. We'll take one to base. The system shock is great for them, but we'll still be able to get them to 25 here, or we can claim and finish them off. I think in this scenario, we will just claim and we'll be attacking for 10 with the warrior. And it should be GG's. There's no reason to give them a chance to Cinta and kill off some pieces and all the different things they're able to do. There's a targeting computer if it doesn't do anything. And here we'll just be able to attack in for 10 to finish them. So we'll get that, the 2 advantage tokens and GG's. All right. Whew. So that was an interesting one for sure. We had to play a little under curve, but we still push 10 damage or 30 damage by 6R on the first action of 6R without many attachments. The 2 plot were enough, 1 got removed. And even with that, we're able to swing in for 10 with the warrior. And GG's to our opponent. We'll go to our next one. And we have Gar Data Vault. All right. Another deck I think is really good. I think I talked about it in a couple videos. Uh, I they're going to be in space and it looks like we're going to be in ground. We're going to keep this. In this case, this is definitely our turn one into turn two, maybe turn three, but also the Hona. So I think actually we're probably going this route. I know that Ezra can be nice because it can boost these other pieces, but I think in this scenario, what's going to happen is a blue leader eventually is going to come out and bust us. Okay, so here, I think now we're probably looking at Kanan coming out next turn. And they might throw a Han. We're hoping to see a Han and not a Chewbacca. And so we're going to get our Hera down just to set us up for 4 healing next turn. Because we're going to throw an advantage token on it. They have the Yellow Aces Bomber. Yeah. So they're doing a good job there. Everybody's pushing their own damage. We'll give an advantage token here, which is big. And they might also have bounce. So there's another Hera. But I think what we're going to do is probably bounce. We'll see what sequence they go with. And if they use their resources, we'll make sure to attack with the warrior first to get our other advantage token to heal for 5. Okay, so they do go there. I think that means I know this means we're going to take some more damage here, but we're going to go ahead and bounce that. It was Chewbacca, which is what we were hoping not to see, but it happens. So we will go ahead and give another advantage token here. And now you can see what Hera is going to do. We are going to heal for 5. And so that at least wipes out 1 attack. And now I think we're just going big. We're going as big as we can, and we're racing. They could play the yellow bomber again. They do. I think we're okay with that. So I think what's going to happen is we'll go ahead and get an attack in here. We are going to put the mastery on Hera. They're going to tap it down. That's fine. Uh, We are going to play out our Ezra. And we're going to force them to come after our Ezra. Or our Hera, sorry. Here, we're going to resource. We may bounce. Who knows? They are going to push some damage, but we're going to try and heal for 8 before they do. They could blue leader in. Even if they blue leader in, we will live and we'll still be able to heal for 6. So that was kind of the key to get her to 7 health to get her out of the blue leader. Okay, they're going to be able to double tap. That's pretty bad for us. I think we'll go ahead and whistling bird here. So they've done a good job of keeping our units at bay a little bit. And we're going to be just short. We're going to be one. I think we're going to be 1 short, right? Because they're going to be able to swing in. And we're going to be able to hit for 9. He's going to be able to swing in for 4. And we can only heal 1 here. So we're going to be just short. Sure, we'll give it an advantage token here. And GG to our opponent there. They just had all the tap down, the Jin into the Sabine, and there was nothing we could do. Even if we spread out, we did spread out our attachments. They just had the tap downs. We're still able to get there in the 32, but are 1 short. And GG to our opponent. Well done there. We did bounce the yellow ace, and maybe that cost us because it did create 2 extra damage. So that's probably where you go back and see that that costs us a little bit, but there was nothing else for us to bounce in the moment. If we had played the Hona instead, we would probably have been in better shape. So there's something to think about there. But again, the triple exhaust, I think, really hurt what we were trying to do. And there's a world where we just claim to swing with the Hera. But GG's to our opponent there, and definitely one of those ones I would go back on Cara Buddy and watch again. Definitely think there was a misplay in the 3-4R for us. But sometimes that's what happens when you go with the theme of a deck and you're trying to push it that way, and they got us. All right, we have Krennic here with Joshi, and let's see what we're able to do. We're going to keep this. I do think that the Kanan can be good, especially if we're able to bounce their ramp. So that's something we'll be looking out for. The Nimble Prowess and the Reforge are probably going down. And we'll go with the Karis to start. Hope you guys are enjoying this video. We definitely are enjoying this leader a lot. I think there's a lot of potential here. We're excited to continue to explore it. And really any other ones. If you guys have ideas of things you'd like to see, like to build out, this week we've been trying out a few different things. I think first with the Callus and now this. If there's anything else you guys have been thinking about, want to see, just jump into Discord or throw it in the comments here, and we're happy to try these different decks out. We're going to go ahead and claim here. They do not have the ramp yet, so we're not nothing to bounce, but we are building out a pretty nice set of cards here, especially for our deploy, where we're going to be able to push a lot of damage into this Krennic. And now, if they do play their ramp card, we're going to be in great shape because a couple of things will happen. Um, Interesting. Okay. We have a red card out, so we can, yeah, they're going to roll that back. They're going to defeat their unit. They're going to defeat our unit. Okay. That was a whole different play. Sure. All right. So we'll go ahead and we'll bounce that out. Keeping them off of putting that out there. We had some good plays for that, but I get what they're doing there and why they changed it. And we're just trying to build ourselves from here. I think here we're definitely going to go with Ezra double Nightsaber and swing in for 7 with them to get to 13. With 2 more advantage tokens, this will be another 8. So we should be able to push them to 21 maybe. Oh, there's the lats. Sure. So I think the important thing is here, we're going to attack in. We're going to give the advantage token here. When we flip Ezra, we'll put 2 Night Sabers on, then attack in with a spy because it'll hit for 3. We're giving Ezra his own advantage token. So we don't really lose much damage here, which is great. And they are not going to be on flip next turn, or if they are, it's going to take a couple actions. And so we'll get to 12 here. I think we'll still end up getting them to 20, maybe 19. They have no resources left, so they could just claim, and then we'll get them to 19, and then we'll kind of go from there. We'll push in, give an advantage. We'll throw these 2 on. Oh, just 20. Oh, that are these 3 twos? 3 twos. I was counting them as 2 twos. My math was way off there. So yeah, they're at 22. And so the Ezra swing alone will finish them off. It has Saboteur. Unless they have tap down, it's going to be very difficult for them to do anything about it. And again, you can see on 6R where we have an opponent in range. They play their Sentinel. We'll go ahead and swing to base and GG's to our opponent. All right, so that one was pretty straightforward. I think that the most interesting game was that Greef game. I would definitely go back and check that out again. I think the deck overall is super interesting and has a lot of ways to win. Because of the saboteur nature of Ezra, you can get around some of those Sentinels. The Commence the Festivities are in the sideboard. There might be an argument to put them in main to push our other units past because none of our other units really have saboteur outside of the Anakin. And then you can go in space with the deck. We do have a number of space units. It just didn't make sense in a lot of these games, but you can see where it can put pressure, and mastery and other things can attach to space units as well, which is really nice. So you can definitely lane dodge or split it up and really put a lot of pressure in both areas. A lot of healing on your end to make them deal with a Hera and Hona, and just a lot of fun this deck overall. Shout out again to Finn. Been working on it with him quite a bit. Hope he enjoys the video. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video and you have a great afternoon. Thanks, everyone. Or morning or evening, I guess. Have a good one.